So guys, today we're going to be comparing the S22 Ultra to the Note 10 Plus here. So very interesting comparison here today. Really excited to do this one. So the Note 10 Plus is an older flagship phone and it is about 400 bucks now. You can find it in the used refurbished marketplace. S22 Ultra after taxes cost me around $1,283, so almost $1,300. So you're gonna pay, a lot of money for this phone. So let's go ahead and get into it with the hardware. So I gotta say, the Note 10 Plus has aged so well for an older flagship phone. Just look how good it looks next to the S22 Ultra. It honestly looks like a phone that really could have been released this year. The beautiful psychedelic shifting color on here. They really need to bring this design back. I really do like the colorful look. It always catches people's eyes. The S22 Ultra, I really like the design on here. It has a very clean looking design. It looks like the LG Velvet a little bit to me. It's just extremely clean phone. One thing that you will notice is that this phone is kind of a little bit thicker and I won't say much, but you'll notice that it's definitely heavier than the Note 10 Plus as well too. So it has a little bit of heft to it, but the designs honestly, kind of look similar besides the camera module as far as the body goes. And once we flip the devices over, we get to the screen design. You can see basically they look pretty much the same as far as upfront design as well too. Alright, so let's talk about displays on here. The S22 Ultra has a 6.8-inch display. It's dynamic AMOLED. It is 120 Hz HDR10 Plus, and then it has 1750 nits brightness peak at 6.8 inches. It's 1440p, 500 for the PPI. The Note 10 Plus, it has the dynamic AMOLED display HDR10 Plus, also 6.8 inches, 1440p, 498 for the PPI. So the displays pretty much look identical, almost there. It does seem like the S22 Ultra seems a little bit more colorful or a little bit more saturated. Also, the punch hole is slightly smaller. You can barely tell, but as far as the screen to body ratio, they pretty much look the same. Just two beautiful displays. Now, the Note 10 Plus is going to be a little bit brighter outdoors. But honestly, I've never struggled with the Note 10 Plus outdoors. But this phone does get like crazy bright. So the displays are very beautiful. Like I said, not really that big of a difference, guys. Now, where you will see the difference with the display is obviously the Note 10 or the S22 Ultra has that adaptive refresh rate. So it is 120 Hz. It does feel silky smooth when you're scrolling and stuff like that. But like I've always said, 120 Hz is not really necessary. Honestly, a lot of people can't really tell the difference. I asked people, when the iPhone went to 120 Hertz, people didn't even really know. They couldn't tell the difference from like a regular iPhone. So very interesting, but definitely I really like the 120 Hertz. It does feel super snappy, but I'm really impressed with the Note 10 Plus screen quality over the years. It's just very futuristic, as you can see. Even in 2022, it still looks very good. Now let's talk about software. So both of these phones are running Android 12, One UI 4.1, One UI 4. So it's pretty interesting because they both pretty much have all the same features. They do have the Samsung desktop support, Dolby Atmos secure folders on here. You pretty much have wireless power sharing is on both of these phones as well too. So you pretty much aren't really missing out on anything as far as the software experience. The stylus, it is a little bit more accurate on the S22 Ultra. Samsung has got it down to a science where it just feels like really instant. But it pretty much feels the same as the Note 10 Plus. It's not like, I guess if you're a digital artist, maybe you'll notice, but I couldn't really notice because, I don't do digital artwork. They honestly, they feel the same to me. Like they just kind of feel the same. So I can't really tell the difference, but they both are just great for doing digital artwork or just navigating. So they both have that. So they kind of do a lot of the same things. You're not really missing out on anything as far as the software experience goes. Now here is the big thing. So the Note 10 Plus got its last major OS update with Android 12. It will get 3 years of security patches, so Samsung will make sure the phone is secure for the next 3 years. The S22 Ultra will get 4 years of major OS updates, and then it'll get, I believe, about I think it was like 4 or 5 years of security patches. Is a really long life cycle. So Samsung has stepped up their game. They have the longest major OS updates out of any manufacturers. So that is really awesome there. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the specs. So this is where it gets a little confusing. So I'm glad I got the base model of the S22 Ultra just to make a point here. So the S22 Ultra base model, Snapdragon 8 processor, the 8 generation one, and then you have the Adreno 630 GPU. This phone does not have any SD card support, 128 gigs of internal storage, and 8 gigs of RAM. That is not good for $1,300. I'm just let you know right off the bat. Why am I saying that? This is also a base model on the Note 10 Plus. It has the Snapdragon 855, Adreno 640, micro SD card support, and it also has 256 gigs of internal storage on the base model and 12 gigs of RAM. So how crazy is that? The base model of this phone, you get more RAM and more storage and an SD card support. So I know some people say, Matt, you don't need the SD card support. Well, I've always wondered, like, why take it out? I don't really understand. Yes, SD card support is slower than SSD, but why take it out if everybody loves that feature? So let me know how you guys feel about that. But if you really get into like a little mini speed test here, I really wasn't seeing that big of a difference, but let's go ahead and find out. Just open the Play Store, start off with something light. Go ahead and open Subway Surf. Boom. So a little bit noticeable, but really not too much of a big difference there. I wish you guys could keep in scores, but I ran them on the S22 Ultra. They're completely off, so it might not be optimized right now since it just came out. Open Instagram. Again, that was super close. Scrolling at 120 hertz, does feel faster. Still smooth on the Note 10 Plus as well. So as you guys can see, these phones are more similar than a lot of people think. So that's why I said, don't let people upsell you, make you feel pressured to upgrade, right? Because you can see like what is the major difference here? Like if you're not a tech head, like I absolutely love the 120 hertz, the blah blah blah, all the little stuff that they do. But for normal people who $1,300 is a lot of money. You can see speed-wise, we're pretty much still on par. And let's check out some gaming. Let's see what kind of settings we get. Open up PUBG. Now we are in on PUBG. So on the Note 10 Plus, if you want to upgrade because of a better gaming experience, you really shouldn't, because there's no reason to. The Snapdragon 855 is basically, for a normal person, is playing at the same settings as this new chip. So HDR Extreme, Ultra HD, you can play Fortnite at 60 frames. Check out the gaming test. There's no reason to upgrade specifically for gaming or speed-wise, performance-wise. The Snapdragon 855 is still holding up really, really well, and it's still able to play games at the highest settings. And honestly, so far, now I haven't put this phone to the test. I haven't did my gaming test yet. So far, the 855 chip is definitely keeps the device cooler, or it doesn't feel like the phone is getting as hot gaming. Because I've started playing Asphalt on this phone. It got a little warm, but for PUBG, it's not really that bad. But they both do an excellent job with gaming. But honestly, like I said, if you're an average normal person, you want to play PUBG, Call of Duty, Fortnite at high settings, you can do that on both of these phones. If you already have a Note 10 Plus, it's not really necessary to upgrade, exclusively right for gaming. All right, we have got YouTube open. We're gonna check out these speakers max volume, and we'll turn Dolby Atmos off on both devices. We'll turn it back on. We'll start with the Note 10 Plus. Okay, that is very shocking there. The Note 10 Plus speakers sound better than the S22 Ultra here. It's got noticeably better bass quality in it. They both sound the same in level of volume, but this just it clearly sounds better. Like right off the bat, you hear it. I wonder it's because if this is sitting completely flat like this, this speaker is weaker than this speaker up top. This speaker up here, it just kills this speaker. This is significantly weaker when it comes to bass. There's almost no bass coming out of here, so that is the issue there. So very shocking. Was not expecting the speakers to be better on the Note 10 Plus there, but I don't know why they straight up nerfed the the top speaker there. All right, let's go over the little bells and whistles with these phones. So we already talked about the stylus. They pretty much work the same. Also, the fingerprint scanner is pretty much the same as far as speed wise. Face unlock works really great on both of these. They both have NFC and they both have IP68 dust and water resistant there, so they're pretty much even in that regard. So I do want to go ahead and talk about the camera. So this is where the S22 Ultra shines. If you're somebody that takes a ton of photos, I personally think this has one of the best camera systems in any phone right now. It's just got just a ton of stuff. The best zoom in any phone right now too. So let's go over the specs for the S22 Ultra here. So we got a 108 megapixel lens, and then we also have 10 megapixel periscope telephoto, and then that does 10x optical zoom, as you can see. And then we also have a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and then we have another 10 megapixel telephoto lens that does 3x optical zoom. It can shoot an 8K video as well too, 8K 24. And then we have a 40 megapixel selfie cam that shoots in 4K 60. So you can see this is like one of those spec'd out cameras. And even this phone goes up to 100 times zoom if you want to take some super zoom shots. The photos look pretty decent at 30 times too, which I was pretty impressed with, 10 times. So like I said, this is probably, if you take a lot of zoom shots and stuff like that, the shots on here are going to be amazing. The Note 10 Plus, it does have a triple camera setup, and then you have a 12 megapixel standard, a 12 megapixel telephoto, 2x optical zoom, and then a 16 megapixel ultra wide, and then it shoots in 4K 60, and then you have a 10 megapixel selfie cam that shoots in 4K 60 as well too. I will go ahead and let you guys see these side by side still so you guys can see the difference there, and you guys can see the video as well too. Alright guys, here's the video on the Note 10 Plus here. 0.5, 2x, still a little walk. Hi guys, here's a quick video test on the S22 Ultra here. Ultra wide, 3x, 10x, 1x. Let's do a quick walk.
pretty nice.
All right, lastly, we need to talk about the battery. So we are getting a pretty nice upgrade as far as the battery size goes. The S22 Ultra is giving you a 5,000 milliamp battery with 45 watt charging. You also get the wireless charging at 15 watts and reverse wireless charging at 4.5 watts. The Note 10 Plus is giving you a 4,300 milliamp battery, also with 45 watt charging. So they both charge very, very fast. And you also have wireless charging at 15 and reverse at 4.5. So you are going to get better screen on time on the Note 10 Plus, not on the Note 10 Plus, but on the S22 Ultra for sure. Now, I am going to do a battery drain test with these two phones so we can see, is it going to be a significant difference? But so far, I don't actually struggle to get a full day's use out of the Note 10 Plus at all. So you can definitely get a full day's use on both of these phones. So that is pretty much it. So if you have a Note 10 Plus, it's not really a necessary upgrade unless you're like me and you just like, you just like tech and all that stuff. But if you're just, a normal person and you're thinking about upgrading, I don't really think it's worth it unless you like all the little bells and whistles, like you take a lot of photos, or you like the 120 hertz is really nice. I really love 120 hertz. But yeah, so speed wise, screen wise, design wise, not too crazy of a difference. So I don't think it's like a rush out and upgrade, right? But let me know what you guys think. I could be wrong. Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.